Hey guys, Kamina the coach here, and I am not as chipper as I sound. Drippy nose, probably. Okay, so first of all, I'm Kamina the coach. This channel initially was to help people work and live abroad. I moved back to the United States in March of 2020 due to COVID, and then started focusing on healing some of that ample childhood trauma and adoption trauma that I had and still maybe lingering. And then I was very fortunate to be able to come back overseas to Mexico the 15th of September 2022. We are in 2022, I hope. So I don't know when, if ever, I'll be able to post this. I am in an apartment with no internet. Interesting. And as a foreigner, I can't enter into a contract. So, with limited internet access, I don't know when I will be able to post this video. What is this video even about? I don't know. It's been very difficult. It's been difficult to be back in Mexico. I'm in a different city than I was in last time, and very foolish of me to assume that one city in the same state is going to be similar to another city. I lived in Texas, and I'm from Odessa, and Odessa is nothing like San Antonio. So foolish of me to believe one small town is similar to another small town in Oaxaca. They're not. I lived in, and I'm going to pronounce it incorrectly, Ixtepec, Oaxaca previously. I'm currently in Miahuatlan. This Miahuatlan is bigger than Ixtepec, and a lot less green space, and the people are not like the people in Ixtepec. Ixtepec was the small town vibe, really friendly, really welcoming. Really, the only foreigners you saw in town were those who were missionaries. That was kind of it. There's really like no tourism. There's nothing to draw foreigners to Ixtepec, and I love that. So let's just talk about that. Let's talk about what do they call it? Gentrification. How about let's talk about gentrification of other people's countries. So I don't know what Ixtepec is like now after 5 years, but I know that Oaxaca in general was pretty hidden and pretty unknown when I was here 5 years ago. Oaxaca City, the capital of Oaxaca, is full of foreigners, and living there is quite a bit more expensive than you would expect. And that is because with this becoming the place to be, people are coming here in droves. Sorry, I'm holding my phone with my hand. People are coming here in droves, and it's very disconcerting. So I've seen this in China. I've seen this in Thailand, now in Mexico. Because foreigners' countries are becoming unlivable. I know the United States inflation, it's out of control. I was paying close to $1,200 a month for a small one bedroom in Arizona. So that's kind of the case in a lot of places, and people in Western countries are fleeing to these third world countries and living on a lot less than they would in their countries, but a lot more than the locals are able to. So so Oaxaca is similar to the state that I lived in Thailand. I lived in Chiang Mai in Thailand, and same thing, one of the least educated states and one of the poorest states, Also, one of the states the most full of foreigners. Magical is what they call it, and that's what we call Oaxaca as well. Magical, or it's what I call it. And because of that, drawing all these not tourists, digital nomads, foreigners, and the lot. So you get all these foreigners, and here you don't have to enter into a contract to rent a place to live. You just give the money over. So because of that, then we're driving up the prices for the local people, making their places, their states, their homes unlivable. So I certainly did not come here to live in luxury. I definitely want to live. So if you can see, so those are plastic chairs covered with fabric. It's just one room. I've cordoned it off with curtains here. My kitchen's right here in front of me. It's just one room. I've just brought some stuff with me from the United States to make it a bit more comfortable. You can see the stuff here behind me. I definitely didn't buy that stuff here. I brought it with me in my bag from the United States. So I pay a local, what would be a local rent for this place. It's a very small efficiency apartment without internet. I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to get into this situation. Again, it's because I can't enter into a contract. Anyways, so I guess what I would plead with you, if you are considering working and then permanently living abroad, is to do your best to try to, first of all, you need to learn the language wherever you're going. It's not acceptable to go somewhere and demand that they speak your language. It's just not. So do your best to learn the language. It's very difficult to live in a country without knowing their language, especially in third world countries. Learn their language and go with the intention of living among the people. I had another sister reach out to me. She's like, oh, my cousin wants to move to Mexico to a large expat community. I'm like, and contribute to the gentrification of Mexico? I was like, I won't contribute to that. So, yeah. Miahuatlan is small. There's no malls, there's no movie theaters, but I still see a lot of foreigners here. I see a lot of white faces here. So I met a black Dutch guy here. There's a very famous market that goes on here once a week on Mondays. So people come to check out the market. I don't know what else would draw them here. There's not much else to see here. We are on the way to Puerto Escondido, and Puerto Escondido, from what I understand, is full of foreigners. There is a nude beach called Zipolite, that has a nude beach that has a lot of, my nose is just dripping, that has a lot of Europeans. I met a guy from Spain there. Oaxaca is overrun with foreigners right now. Again, the least educated and the poorest state in the country, overrun with foreigners who are driving up the cost of living for the locals. So please be mindful of that as you are looking at finding a place to live abroad. I would hope that if you're watching my channel that you wouldn't want to contribute to the gentrification of a country, that you wouldn't want to contribute to people, the locals, not being able to afford to live in their own space and them not having access to some of the luxuries that are available there because of the foreigners. I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's right, personally. And it is a personal thing, of course. Again, I would hope that if you're following this channel that you feel the same way. Even if you are trying to find something livable for yourself, if you want to live in Western standards, stay in the West. Stay in the United States, stay in the UK, wherever you are, stay there. If you want to live in a community and be embraced by the community, learn to lower your standards a little bit and live among the people. So I suppose I will have to eat my own words and learn to live without internet, though most of the locals here have Wi-Fi. So this is not something unusual or different. When I lived in Ixtebek, I didn't have hot water and I didn't have internet, and that was common. That was common for most of the locals. I slept on a regular bed though, and most of the locals slept in hammocks because there's no AC. So I didn't have AC. Also no AC here, resident rooster. No AC here either, but it's a much milder temperature. I do have hot water, no internet. So measure your expectations. If you want to live like you're in the West, stay in the West. If you want to live like you're in the United States, stay there. If you can lower your standards a little bit, learn to live like a local, learn to speak the language, then come on down. So anyways, also resident dogs. There are 3 dogs who live on the roof right next door to me who bark all night long. I'm gonna do another video on how similar Mexico is to China. It's very interesting. I don't know if it's a second or third world thing. I don't know if we can really call these third world anymore, more like developing, so we call them second world. But I'm gonna do a video on how similar they are. Definitely not food-wise, but in the way that I see them developing. So just some interesting observations. Anyway, so today is August 25th, 2022. Again, I don't know when this video will finally go up because I don't have internet right now. But until the next time, Kamina the Coach, sending you love, light, peace, and joy. I'm out.